more on the line. So it's going to feel different. And depending on your position after the first two races, decide what your intensity level is when you get to Dover.
Logano only needs to finish 31st or better to move on to round 2. For more, log on to mrn.com. I'm Woody Kane. This is NASCAR Today Midday on the Motor Racing Network.
From Volusia to Chico, Williams Grove to Knoxville, and all dirt tracks in between and beyond. This is Winged Nation. 1 full hour of news and interviews with today's top dirt drivers. Now, your award-winning hosts, Steve Post and Kendra Jacobs.
Hello again, everyone. It is Winged Nation on MRN.com, talking sprint car racing, and we are so excited. So glad you joined us here on the program. Joining us on the live stream audio, everything is normal. If you're joining us on the video stream, you are going to see a flash in just a moment as Kendra Jacobs comes sliding through the lobby into her chair here. We have a great program for you. Kendra going to join us here in just a moment, and we will talk sprint car racing. Great program for you coming up. Greg Wilson going to join us. Greg, the Hercules Tires guy, scored his first career win with the World of Outlaws. So we will talk to him, a guy that has a lot of World of Outlaws success, and a lot of success, so much so that he's a Hall of Famer, hanging up the goggles, if you will. Donnie Krietz, we're going to talk with Don Krietz Jr., and we're going to talk National Open and the National Open benefit with Kolton Gouse. Now, I told you folks watching on YouTube, here she is. She's in place. Those of you on radio, you wouldn't have known had I not said anything, that Kendra has just rolled into position, ready to go. How are you?
I'm good. It's rainy, and I should have known better because people in Charlotte cannot drive in
Oh,
rain.
they're terrible.
So I should have given myself like an hour to get here rather than the standard
They're
35 minutes.
terrible around
it's
here.
unbelievable. But I'm here.
You're here, and we're
But-
talking sprint car racing.
and I'm reporting it's still raining.
Still raining, and folks, I am a glasses overflowing kind of guy.
Yeah.
I am afraid that 4-letter word may be part of our vocabulary in sprint car world for the next few days.
Yeah. Remember when I was going to the National Open, Steve?
Yes.
Unfortunately, our friend Mother Nature has ruined my plans.
Really?
Yeah. So not going a lot because of our other job.
Right, exactly. And you're going to be
we're both stuck at Dover
Right,
this weekend, and
exactly.
rain is going to play a big role there, which is going to dictate what we had
Like I
planned
said,
to do.
I am a glasses overflowing kind of guy, and I don't like what I'm seeing, so I'm ignoring it. But unfortunately, it is going to be a factor. It appears all weekend long with the National Open.
So what did I miss? What'd you talk about?
Nothing. We just talked about got going. Talk about Greg Wilson a little bit.
Huge win.
Yeah, exactly. Kendra, let's take a look. Why don't we get started by looking at the Valco Racing Wheels results page, because that'll kind of set the table for us along the way. World of Outlaws, Greg did pick up his win. I can't wait to chat with him. He's had such a good comeback and such a great season. So we'll talk with him. Shane Stewart, Rico Abreu, your top three on Friday night. On Saturday night, well, Donnie Schatz, 30th win of the year. Last driver to get it was Steve Kinzer in 1992. Last lap, last corner, past Darren Pittman.
Were you listening to this with
No,
Gibby?
I
It's like,
wasn't.
bah! You know how Gibby gets, which,
Well-
by the way, happy birthday, Johnny Gibson.
Oh, happy birthday, John
Yes,
Gibson. Yeah.
it's the voice of the Outlaws' birthday
May the
today.
head bang and rock just whatever
You wanted
crazy.
the best. You've got him.
Whatever
I can't
crazy
even try to
music
do
he
it.
listens to. He has got the most eccentric taste in music.
Well, he used to be a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
If you see some of his
Well, and he
pictures
still
from
takes-
back in the day.
And he still takes his guitar to the
He
Tilton
does.
Hilton.
Yeah, and every once in a while, there's a time he actually serenaded my whole group for my 21st birthday way back when.
2 years ago, right?
Yeah,
2
2 years
ago
ago
for
in
the 21st
Eldora.
birthday. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
no, happy birthday to Johnny.
Yeah,
But he got
absolutely.
so pumped that last lap, so you knew it was
Well,
crazy.
My understanding is Berlin, the 5 laps to go, the stands were emptying.
Oh.
You imagine going home and saying, yeah, Darren Pittman won that one. Well, after
Well, and it
further
sounded
review.
like rubber was starting to lay down. So for Donnie to find a way.
For Donnie to find a way.
The man is incredible.
There you go.
He is
That's
incredible.
been the motto of the last 2 years. For Donnie to find a way. Shots 30th win of the season over Darren Pittman. How about Logan Schuchart, a third-place win it is going to come soon when Logan Schuchart's able to move up that podium
it's
just a little
definitely
bit.
coming.
Exactly.
He's right there.
Right
You
there.
know what they say? Once you get yourself consistently in the top 5,
Yeah.
a win is coming, and he is getting there.
He's getting there, absolutely. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour presented by MAV TV, the Hockett McMillan Memorial. Friday night, Brownie picked up the win. Saturday night, Brad Loyette became the 18th different winner. 18th different winner with Lucas Oil this year. So strong season for our friends at the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. All-Stars, Atomic was rained out. Sunday night, it was Dale Blaney picking up the win, his 12th win of the season, 6th All-Star Championship, 127th win overall, and ended a dry spell for him that went back a few weeks. He hadn't won in a while.
That it was odd for us to be talking, especially about Fremont, without Dale being in the mix.
Well, which just goes to show the level of competition for the All-Stars is really what a difference a year makes. We talked about this on MAV TV.
Yep.
What a difference a year makes. It's really, really good. King of the West Series, Kyle Hurst, his 5th win of the season. 16th series win overall. Picked up the win at Santa Maria Speedway. Santa Maria, Saturday night, Tyler Walker, 2nd win of the season out in the King of the West Series. MOA, Paul Neinheiser picked up the win. Other winners, Kyle Martin picked up an IRA win. Dusty Zomer also got an IRA win. And we had Stevie Smith won the tune-up race at Williams Grove. And, the Dirt Classic, $20,000 to Brian Monteith.
Big
Huge
win.
win. Took it off Stevie Smith, 50th career win. And not that the Beer Hill Gang going into National Open Week needed much to celebrate, but can you imagine the celebration that started Saturday night at about 11 o'clock and continues?
They've already got to be camping up there, right?
No, they are. They're camping. There's been pictures on our
That's
Twitter.
so awesome.
Yeah, I just retweeted someone's picture.
I'm so disappointed I was going to get to do that with them. And
Exactly.
Ugh.
Oh, it's good fun. But Brian Monteith picked up the win there as well. Kendra, a lot of news, okay? We want to tie something in, and much of it involves Tony Stewart, okay? And I do want to do this. Tony Stewart going to make some big announcement tomorrow about his NASCAR future. MRN and other sources reporting that he's going to retire at the end of the year.
End of next year.
At the end of next year, yeah. Want to mention that will be streamed live on MRN.com. So
and this
that
is
press
pertinent to
conference,
Wing Nation.
it is pertinent
Remember,
to Wing Nation
he owns
because
sprint car
where he
teams.
goes, what he does.
Owns
And
a track, owns a series.
I don't expect tomorrow to get into this means I'm going to do A, B, C, and D.
Right.
This is about the NASCAR end of the career, okay? And that's
remember,
fine.
there's still a full
The full
year to go.
and there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. But we will carry it on MRN.com. But Tony making news recently or this week with his Eldora Speedway.
Love this announcement. Love this.
There's 2 of them.
Well,
okay?
the big one
The
for
big
me
one.
is the additional $100,000 in purse money for the Kings Royal.
Right, absolutely. The winner's share stays $50,000. And
Which
that's
is-
fine.
That's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
But let's reward the guys further back, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Second place, $20,000.
Which used to be 12, so that's an
12.
instant $8,000 bonus.
Fifth place, $10,000, which is a normal win on the World of Outlaw
Mm-hmm.
Tour. Okay. 10th place, $5,000, which honestly is a normal win
For the All-Stars.
For the All-Stars, and a big win for most other tours. I mean, most are $3,000
And
to
that's to finish
$5,000. 10th place, $3,000 to start. There's a lot of tours in the country, 410 tours, that $3,000 is their winning thing,
Yep.
winning feature, and that's fine. But $3,000 to start, $1,000 for the first non-transfer driver and the B main, $500 to start the B main.
I hope this sees more cars at the
Right.
Kings Royal. Not that they're lacking in car
No.
count, because they're not. But this is a huge bump. And I think it was Robbie Wolfgang that posted today. When we talk about cost effectiveness,
Right.
this is the kind of stuff we need. Maybe not top of the spectrum bumps
Right.
like the winner, but awarding these guys who are faithful and come every single weekend or compete and aren't necessarily the winners.
The break-even point, in talking to friends that have shared this with me, the break-even point for a top flight sprint car team, 410 sprint car team, is somewhere. And again, I don't get into these guys' business, but in talking with some of the guys I talk to, you need to make $2,000 to have a break-even night. It's $3,000 to start. That means 24 drivers are going to have break-even or better nights. Okay?
That's great.
That is really great. So salute to them. The other news out of there is that the Four Crown Nationals will be a Four Crown Nationals. Now, this changed in 2007, okay? It changed because the World of Outlaws went to Friday night and the USAC Silver Crown Midgets and Sprints were on Saturday night. What Tony and Roger are doing, they're putting on Saturday night the All-Star Circuit of Champions.
So it's technically a 5-crown now.
As long as the World of Outlaws show stays the same on Friday, and I'm assuming
I would assume it will. So kind of a 5-crown nationals.
Think about this, okay? Think about this if you're Greg Wilson. Okay, you're Greg Wilson and you own Eldora. Well, we're giving him a little bit. We're going to talk to him in a minute here. But you think about that, but then if indeed the schedule stays the same with the World of Outlaws race on Friday and the All-Stars on Saturday, what a weekend at Eldora. Again, business picking up in sprint car racing, and it is really, really good. Those are your Valco racing wheels. Results, Valco, VAH-LCO, made by racers, for racers. That's www.vah.lco. Stay with us. The man who owns Eldora. Well, he owned it on Friday night. Greg Wilson joins us next.
This is Winged Nation on MRN.com. Steve and Kendra will be right back.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and pick up a 16-ounce can of Gum Out Parts Cleaner free after mail-in rebate. Great for cleaning brake drums and rotors, carburetors, air intakes, and all unpainted metal parts. Hurry in for this free offer at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Your destination for sprint car history. Check out the Salute to Champion Doug Wolfgang exhibit, featuring 5 of Doug's sprint cars, all 5 of his winning Knoxville Nationals trophies, as well as helmets, uniforms, and other Wolfgang memorabilia. Also, check out Damian Gardner's world's fastest sprint car that the Demon drove at 211 miles per hour at Bonneville. Open 7 days a week all year in the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville, Iowa. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
I'm Stevie Smith, now back to Wing Nation and Steve and Kendra.
Thank you, Stevie. We appreciate it. Joining us on the program now, courtesy of the Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery guest line, is the man who owns Eldora. Well, okay. We can say that, but I think our guest knows that he doesn't own Eldora, but he did have a pretty good time there on Friday night, picking up that career-first World of Outlaw win. Greg Wilson joins us. Hello, Greg. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Dude, congratulations. Tell us about the night. Tell us about the win. Tell us about what it meant for your Hercules Tires team.
Well, I mean, it's still, I don't even know if it's registered, really.
Yeah.
You know, when I've done this for a long time, and I was getting to the point where I was wondering if I was ever going to be able to get a World Outlaw win, and you know, kind of things fell our way a little bit, and we've been pretty fair at Eldora. You know, last couple of years we've had some really good runs there, and you know, my hat's off to Eldora. I mean, they've changed the track and made it more 3-wide racing than just around the top or just around the bottom, and we've kind of got a good handle on the middle to low side of the speedway, and made some good changes there after watching the dash, and things just really fell our way.
Well, you say fell your way, but when I hear that, I think, oh, we got a front row starting position. You did not, really, things did not fall your way as far as being lucky goes. I mean, you started 9th and charged to the front and had a 7-second lead at the finish line. That, to me, that's an incredibly dominant car and driver for the night.
It is pretty cool. But, you know, I guess the sport's made me pretty humble because I know how it can work. And, you know, you don't get cars like that all the time, and you don't always drive them that good. And you know, I make a lot of mistakes sometimes, and from wrenching on it or driving. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good race car and pretty good effort by our whole team. And more than anything, I know I'm a blessed guy, but to have my girls and my wife there, and Zach's been working real hard, and all of our sponsors with Hercules Tire, Ohio Logistics, DNC Hydraulics, All-Star Plumbing, Gear Alloy. I mean, I couldn't do it without these guys. I mean, we're a small family-owned team. I mean, most of the time it's my wife and Zach, and it's just us 3. And but it was great to have all our people there.
Greg, and we've asked you this as the season has unfolded because it is a dream season. It is a comeback season. But do you even have a way to describe what this means to you after so many years of toiling to have a year like this year where so many good things are happening?
Honestly, when I start thinking about it, I get half choked up.
Yeah.
This sport, I've lived my whole life doing this, and to get the opportunities that I've gotten, I'm just grateful. And I know the history of the sport. I love the sport, and just to be a small part of it. I mean, I don't really know how to explain how I feel right now, other than it's pretty emotional. And it's just gotten. I knew 2 years ago when we started kind of taking over the ownership of the team, and Verl Warnemont was stepping out, and he's helped guide me along and help me get where I'm at. I knew things were going to change, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work. And we had a pretty good game plan, and I met Roger and Deb Benson, and they've taught me some stuff about the marketing side and how to promote our team. And since we started doing more of the right things, and it's just kind of taken off, and it's definitely headed the right direction. I felt like our win Friday was, I know it sounds crazy, but I felt like that maybe we weren't quite there yet, quite to that point yet. But man, what a perfect time for us to get a Ward Outlaw win. I mean, you guys, it's just amazing.
You talk about taking over ownership at this point in your career, and that's a huge step in itself. Then you bring in a company like Hercules Tires, this big sponsor that now you've got to keep happy as well. How has all of that gone for you, transitioning from being a driver to kind of driver, team owner, team manager, sponsor representative? How is that going?
Well, it's nerve-wracking. I ain't gonna lie. When things aren't going so good, and these things, it takes a lot of time, effort, and financials to make one of these things go. And like I said, we won Eldora on a pair of used tires. So like I said, we're not over budgeted, but we try to spend the money in the right places. That's stressful, but the marketing side and being a part of that, I actually really enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy doing our dealer visits, giving back to the fans through our sponsors. Hercules is a great company. They were built with great family morals and values, and they treat the customer the same way. And it was almost a perfect fit. It's almost a perfect fit for our team and their company. And as they're growing, we want to grow our team right along with them, and we're trying hard to make them proud and do the right things. And it's not just them. I mean, Ohio Logistics has been a huge part. DNC Hydraulics. We're fortunate from the racing side to have. I've had Maxim chassis for a long time, and Kistler engines, and they work real hard with All Pro and Kinsler Fuel Injection and Callie's Performance to get us some great engines. And no, I'm just grateful,
How important is it? You say you've had them for a long time, the Maxim chassis, the Kistler. How important is that in building a race team to have stability among the parts and pieces?
Oh, it's huge. I'll tell you one thing, I guess, that maybe it's just maturing or the fact that I've had to take over my own team, but always before when we get beat, we would worry about what everybody else was doing, and all racers get caught up in that a little bit. And we spent more time just worrying about ourselves and what we can take care of. I mean, we know we're not going to be able to have 10 engines and have everything fresh all the time and things like that. So we just worry about ourselves. And by sticking with the same companies and building relationships, and they see that, they put more effort into helping you when you need help, as far as in whether it be R&D stuff or trying to make your program better. And I've had Zach now for 3 years, and I hope to have him moving forward. And we're trying to build a solid team. I mean, you look at the teams that are successful, and I'm going to use two off the top of my head. Donnie and Ricky and Tony's whole team with the 15, and Dale and George with the one car with the All-Stars. I mean, those teams that have been together, and they've built their deals on the same thing. I mean, same engines, same cars, same, and I think that's how you build a successful team.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. We've had listeners chiming in on Twitter with a question, and where's my buddy at, George? There he is. No, sorry, Chad. Chad Schmidtmeyer wants to know, on all the wins you've had in your career, how does the World of Outlaws win on Friday rank?
That was pretty big. I mean, I don't know. I mean, winning the final All-Star race when I was driving for my uncle was pretty big, and my first All-Star win at Eldora was pretty big. But I don't. There's nothing that could top a World of Outlaw win in my eyes. I mean, the Brad Doty Classic, when we won that, was really, really, really big. But man, to do it with my own team, with my family there, with my wife and my daughters there. It was my daughter's birthday on Sunday. It was Hamp's birthday on Friday, and another Deb Benson's birthday on Friday. I mean, it was just you couldn't have prayed or asked for it to your first victory to be any better. I mean, I sincerely mean that. I mean, I got phone calls from as soon as the races were over from Fred Raymer, and your dad Kenny Jacobs called, and Lee called, and all kinds of texts and phone calls. I mean, I remember all the guys from the races, all the drivers coming up and crews coming up on victory lane. It was kind of happened so fast. It was a little surreal, actually.
Okay, so now I want to talk more important than all of this about that birthday party you had on Sunday for your daughter. Now that was a who's who birthday party.
This.
Oh, Kendra. Now Kendra probably had similar birthday parties growing up, but it sounds like you had a Hall of Fame type birthday party for her.
It was really, really cool, and my girls get pretty spoiled at the races, and you look around, I guess, just at society, and I mean, on Friday we picked my daughter up because they get a bomb threat, and I talked to Tony Stewart a little bit on Friday, and and it was kind of funny. He made a comment. He was like, remember when we were in school and the only thing we had to worry about was somebody smoking just regular old cigarettes or drinking a beer, and that's what you got in trouble for. Now we're scared to death and we got to evacuate our schools because of a bomb threat. And where I'm going with this is the racing community is tight-knit, and it's family. And sometimes I think we lose sight of that. And on Sunday, I was kind of just walking around my shop, and Bonds was here grilling, and everybody was around, and they went and got my kids presents, and were riding scooters around their shop. And I thought, man, how cool is that? How cool is that? And literally just had a blast. And like I said, I truly am fortunate, and I know that.
It is so amazing. It really is. Really, truly is. Greg, we're gonna chat with you next week on MAV TV, on our MAV TV show. MAV TV, we're happy to announce that you talk about your friend at Hercules. There are friends as well. MAV TV presented by Hercules Tire, going to move forward for the balance of the season. So we'll continue our conversation next week on our MAV TV show. But congratulations on the success, and look forward to more of it as the season continues to unfold for you.
Well, thank you, and thanks for all you do for our sport. And I want to thank all the fans for supporting sprint car racing. And like I said before, whether those fans out there are Wilson fans or not, our sport is made up of the fans. And I truly appreciate all the nice comments and the text and the phone calls and getting the opportunity to be on your show. I'm very, very appreciative of all of that.
You got it. Thank you. Congratulations
Thank you.
again. There we go. That's Greg Wilson, driver of that Hercules Tire car, and and he's building this. And Greg and I talked at the PRI show. He is, and listening to him, and of course, and then we've got great relationships with Maxim Chassis and this. Okay, he's channeling in his inner Brian Brown. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it's working pretty stinking good.
Oh yeah, the marketing side of the sport is extremely important.
And look what he's doing with Hercules, with Ohio Logistics, with all of his sponsors. They're all growing with him and growing in the sport. As I mentioned, Hercules is joining us on our MAV TV show, and that's all great. And we're actually going to do a tire store visit with Greg later on this year.
And I'm going to get an education.
You're going to get education on tires. So, and that's the thing. You kind of build it together. You kind of build it, and he's really doing a good job. But I like also that he's modeling. Look at the teams that are whooping everybody. What's Donnie Schatz doing? What's Dale Blaney doing? They're keeping things the same. There's a lot of good chassis out there. Maxim is a great chassis. There's a lot of them out there that are really, really good. Work with what you have. Build up that trust. build up that loyalty so that when you call Ron out at Maxim, say, hey, Ron, this is what I'm doing. He's going to give you an answer knowing you're not going to run to someone else next week.
Yep.
I have so much respect for what Greg Wilson is doing here. Okay, we're going to go from so much respect for Greg Wilson. Oh, Greg joined us on the Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery guest line, classicinkusa.com, classicinkusa.com. We're going to go from so much respect to so much respect because Donnie Krietz joins us next.
Hi, I'm Craig Kinzer, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Racers, that's who Valco wheels are. That's who they know, and racing is what they know. Valco Wheels focuses oval track and grassroots racing and understand racers need a quality wheel that fits your budget. With over 25 years experience, Valco Wheels produces the best product and give you face-to-face support and customer service at the track. Fast delivery, innovative products, problem solving. Find Valco Wheels at Valco.com on Twitter or Facebook, or call Valco Wheels at 609-758-7013. Valco Wheels.
The American Sprint Car Series returns for its 24th year. Over 150 events across national and regional schedules, 56 cities, 16 states, and some of the sport's best like Herrera, Swindell, Hafertepe, and Reitzel, along with the next generation of stars. See the full lineup of events at ASCSRacing.com. Get updates on Facebook and Twitter, and catch every Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour event live on RacingBoys.com.
You're listening to Winged Nation on MRN.com. Now here's Steve and Kendra.
Welcome back. This segment of the show brought to you by the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And who better to have on than a Sprint Car Hall of Famer? Don Krietz joins us. Hello, Don. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Thanks. How are you guys doing?
We're doing really good. Donnie, how are you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit of how you arrived to last week's announcement that you're going to have to hang up the goggles.
Well, actually, the week after Knoxville, we flew home the next week at the Grove, and we were lucky enough to win. But during the feature, I noticed that at high speed, I had like blurry vision, and I didn't have it before. You know, the last race I ran the week before, I went to Knoxville for the Hall of Fame. I didn't have it. Now I had it, and I was concerned about it, didn't really know what it was. We came back and ran the following week at the Grove, and then it was hot out, and I didn't get sick, but kind of afterwards, and I thought, well, maybe I didn't drink enough or heat exhaustion or something like that. And then we come back the next week, which ended up being the last time I was in the car, and I pulled off during the feature, like, all night. I could tell I couldn't really keep up with a car. You know, I'd go. I knew I had to turn, and I'm only talking like tenths of a second or something. You know, but I could just tell something wasn't right. Like no one else really knew it, even Davey Brown watching. But I told him, I'm like, something's off, and I don't even know what it is. Well, went home, drove home, everything was okay that night. Woke up the next morning, and you know, I was really a mess. I mean, it was like 2 years ago I got a concussion at Susquehanna, and it was kind of just like that, all the same symptoms that you get, you know, when you have a concussion. And, you know, we're 3 months down the road, and it's never cleared up. And I've been going to doctors all the time, and none of them, and I kept saying, I'm going to keep going to doctors because somewhere out there I'm going to find the Davey Brown of doctors. You know, that I'm going to find the right guy that's going to say, I know exactly, as soon as he sees me. And I found him last week, finally. I went to a doctor down near Philadelphia, and he knew. And I don't know why, but for some reason, he said it looks like in my head that I'd have kind of like that shaken baby syndrome, you know, just like I was shook a lot or something. Now, this guy didn't know anything about racing or about a sprint car. I had to describe it to him. But I don't know why, but I mean, he said if I listen to him, which is going to be a stretch, I'm sure, but that in 3 to 6 months, you know, through rehab and different things, that he thinks he can have me back to kind of back to normal.
So when you say back to normal, I know how drivers work. And when the doctor says you're back to normal or you're good, there's that pull and tug to get back into a race car. Is that something, Don, you're considering, or when you say I'm walking away, it's a final decision?
I tried to tell enough people that they're going to chain me down or something, because I meant, naturally his first thing I mentioned, because this doctor really seemed like he knew what he was talking about, and I mentioned that to him, and the guy, I mean, if you want a scary feeling, now the guy's like at a desk, I'm sitting across from him, and I'm going to guess he's 65 years old or something, and he takes his, I say, as long as I get better, then I'm okay to go racing. And this guy, he takes his glasses off, he puts his head down in his hands, and he says, "You athletes are the worst." He said, "I can't believe you'd even, he said, you have no idea, how bad a shape you're in." He said, "No, you can't." He said, "You can't take one hit, one nothing." He said, there's no way. He says, "I'm going to do everything I can do to, to try and help you out here and get you back." But he said, there's no way I can race again.
Well, I mean, and that's interesting. And telling the story, you'll have guys like Fred Raymer wrestling you out of a race car. So guys that love you to death and respect you and everything. Okay, so now talking about this racing itch that we all have, you do a lot of work with Rodney Westhafer. You also have the speed shop. Do you feel confident that can scratch the itch for you and continue to make you content and happy and continuing on once we get over this health problem?
Yeah. I was kind of, I kind of almost prepped myself. Like I knew, and I actually told my wife when we got home that night from Williams Grove, I didn't know that I'd never be able to race again, but I just knew something was wrong, and I said, well, I'm hoping I can still probably race at Susky or something, like on a slower track, but I said something in them G-force, at the Grove must have messed with my head. That's probably going to be the last race I ever run there. So I kind of just knew it, so once you accept that and know that you just really can't do it, that you're not capable. I mean, if I thought I could go out there and whip them guys, I'd probably still. But it's just like you know it in your heart, and so it's not going to be as bad. Yeah, it still got to me even when I was sitting out. If we get to a track, which I think would be a good track for me, like if it's really slick or something, I'm like, yeah, it's very tempting, but I'm okay. My daughter races a little car, so I helped her out all summer, a lot more than I normally would get to do. So, we had fun with that, and we have fun with Rodney, and hopefully we'll have fun this week with Justin in our car at the Grove. So it's okay. Hey, I did everything way more than I ever thought I would accomplish. It was really, I mean, yeah, you always like to win one more race or win another outlaw show or something, but not that there wasn't anything left for me. I mean, there's always a lot, but I'm well satisfied. It's good. It's no regrets. No, I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm fine with stopping now.
So what does the future look like for Don Krietz in racing? You talked about Justin Henderson obviously getting in your car this weekend for the National Open. Beyond that, is being a full-time car owner what we're going to see from you?
Probably, for sure, not full-time. I don't know. We might peck around at big races or something. I don't know. If the right deal comes along. Naturally, everything's financial, money driven. And being my own team, we were barely just skimming by on 100% of the purse, and if you're going to get a good driver or something, you got to give them something. So I don't know. I guess it's too soon to really know. We're just taking one day at a time, one week at a time. So we're kind of just keep doing what we're doing. We like helping Rodney. I go out and help other guys too. When they call, and still like keeping Davey active at the track. So we'll just there's enough here at the parts store and everything. I mean, yeah, there's enough to keep me busy. I haven't missed one day during this whole thing. I mean, I missed some time when I went to see doctors, but really haven't missed one day of work, and was still working day and night, which, you know, wasn't helping anything either, I guess. But no, it's okay.
Tell us about your daughter's racing.
She runs what's called a slingshot, so it's basically a bigger go-kart, has like a 50 horsepower engine. She's doing real good with that, runs at the action track at Kutztown on Wednesday nights, and they have a whole pile of races for them things, and she is itching so bad to get in a sprint car. I mean, every day during this thing, like she was worried about my well-being, she says, Dad, you should really retire, you know that, because she wants the car, you know. She's just waiting for a Race Saber 305 to start out, so you should retire, but don't get rid of the car, you know. So
awesome.
We're going to have our hands full, that's for sure.
Yeah, are you, but being a dad, I mean, dads are protective, especially of daughters.
Sure.
Are you cool with this, getting your daughter in a sprint car?
No. No, absolutely. I wasn't cool with anything, but it ended up being a lot of fun. Like 4 years ago, one of my sponsors bought her this car. That's the only reason. She always wanted to race go-karts, quarter midgets, the whole thing. We never did anything. I put it off as long as I could, and then, you know, this car showed up here, and what could I say then, you know, after that? They usually kind of do this stuff behind my back a little bit, you know.
Oh, no.
So yeah, she has her heart set on racing, and she's doing a good job. So I don't know where it's going to go.
Wow, amazing! Another
I love
chapter.
the answer. It's just so
no, exactly. Donnie, I'll tell you. Hey, what does it mean to you? I mean, I understand everyone, and I've talked to Fred about this. I've talked to Lynn Paxton about this. You know, Lynn Paxton wins the National Open, retires in victory lane. I know Fred came pretty close to that. What does it mean to you? You weren't able to accomplish something like that, but within the last 2 or 3 races, winning at Williams Grove, being inducted to the Hall of Fame, what does that mean to you? It's not a walk-off home run, but it's a good walk-off triple, that's for sure.
It's really cool because it's just so hard to quit on a win, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there in victory lane, you know, and the guys come over and my family, and I really would have liked to announce a retirement, but you can't, you know, and it's just so hard to do. So that's what I mean. I'm fine with it. It's okay. It came 2 races later, so it was close enough to, you know, winning one of my last races. We were very competitive all year. We were fast before we won that race. So it's fine. That's cool. I mean that's as good as it gets. You just can't script it any better than that. I mean, it's a great year getting inducted in that Hall of Fame and then coming right back the next week and getting a win. So it's cool.
I stand corrected. That is a home run at the end. That is a home run at the end, Donnie. Donnie, thanks so much for the time. Thanks so much for all the memories. You know, it's funny because now we'll talk to Donnie Krietz, team owner, and look forward to always catching up with you when we go up to Williams Grove. But thanks for the time and sharing your story with us here today on Wing Nation.
All right. Thanks a lot, you guys.
There we go. That is Donnie Krietz Jr. Man. Wow. I mean, you get done with an interview like that, it's just awkward and weird because
for anyone to say, like, I'm
Yeah.
satisfied.
I'm satisfied. Boy, that's a good spot to be in.
It's a great I mean,
spot
how
to
many
be in.
people can end anything and say,
Right.
I'm satisfied?
Absolutely. Donnie joins us courtesy of the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. You can find out more information at sprintcarhof.com, sprintcarhof.com. Sunday's birthday was Maynard Clark. Brooke Tatnall's birthday was Monday, along with Bob Carey. Wednesday is Cecil Green. Mike Nazaruk is Friday, and Chuck Hulse is Saturday. Now listen to Bob Carey. Birthday was yesterday. 2005 inductee into the Hall of Fame. Born in 2004, started racing
Wait, not 2004.
or 1904.
I was
yeah.
like, whoa.
Whoa, wait a minute.
It's the youngest
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
1904. Started racing at the ripe young age of 24.
Oh.
By now, I can in the 2000s, like you're over the hill
Yeah.
at 24.
Yeah.
Started racing at 24, had success in the Midwest and South, advanced over to Ascot because they ran full-time out in California.
Already this man's a hero.
Yeah,
Raced
exactly.
at Ascot.
Raced at Ascot. Success, he finished 4th in the 1932 Indianapolis 500. Did really well. Won races at Detroit, Syracuse, Winchester, Fort Wayne, was the 1932 AAA American Auto Club champion. But as was the case in the 30s, it's a rough
business.
business.
This was coming.
I know. You talk about so many great things. Qualifying crash at Ascot, unfortunately, tragically lost his life in April of 1933. Just you tell these stories, and this is what the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is these stories, these greats, these legends, these guys that did amazing things. Sadly, in the 1930s, the ending was very similar to a lot of them. They gave their life for this sport.
I go back to every year and I say, how did these guys survive? And he always says a lot of them didn't.
Did not, exactly. So more information, and you can follow stories and learn more about drivers like Bob Carey at SprintCarHof.com. It is Natty Open weekend, and that means racing, that means partying, and that means some great charitable efforts as well. Kolton Gouse with the National Open auction, he joins us next.
This is Tony Stewart. Kendra and Steve will be right back with more Wing Nation here on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Already dreading the thought of the off-season and winter? Head down under with Down Under Racing Tours. Don't be stuck in the cold and snow when you could experience the best sprint car racing in Australia, such as the Classic, World Series Speedway, King's Challenge, President's Cup, and the Australian title with Down Under Racing Tours. Owned and operated by an Australian who knows racing down under. Visit downunderracingtours.com or call 717-364-2576. Down Under Racing Tours for a racing experience of a lifetime.
The new standard in race car screen printing and embroidery, Classic Ink USA. Full custom race car track swag apparel, quality customer service, and the industry's finest graphic designers, assuring quick turnaround and the highest customer satisfaction. See the latest designs at ClassicInkUSA.com, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or call us 724-482-6224. Serving racers and their teams, all divisions, all over the world. Classic Ink USA, at the track and on your back.
I'm Craig Kinzer, now back to Wing Nation with Steve and Kendra.
Welcome back, everyone. Having a great time. A guy that has been in the headlines for a lot of reasons and is going to be in the headlines this week for a lot of really good reasons. Joins us now. Kolton Gouse is on the line. Hello, Kolton. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
How are you guys doing? I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, we're doing really well. We're going to talk, obviously, about the National Open benefit, which is coming up this weekend. We want to talk about Susquehanna Speedway. Where are you at? What are you doing now?
Well, I'm currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm doing my normal job of getting everything ready to go racing for the Grove this weekend. And then once I'm done here, hopefully probably about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, I'm going to drive to Pennsylvania and finish up some loose ends up there on the National Open benefits. So I got a lot of stuff going on.
So right now you're kind of wearing 3 hats because you have the National Open benefit. You were just recently named general manager of Susquehanna. And are you still working at Casey Kane Racing, or is that kind of wrapped up now?
No, I'm gonna be down here until November 19th.
Okay, so you're going to finish that out before you actually start the Susquehanna management, or are you doing both?
Well, I'm going to be down here. I'm going to finish out the season with Casey King Racing, and I'm doing some things regarding Susquehanna. A lot of that is in the evenings at night, but we are doing some things with that just to kind of get ahead as far as getting stuff ready to go for next year.
Sure. Let's talk, and I do want to talk about Susquehanna in a little bit and just kind of big picture what you got in mind up there. But in the foreground, in the forefront, beyond winning the National Open this weekend with KKR, is the National Open benefit. How are things looking for this Saturday's event? How can people get involved? How are things going?
Well, I mean, everything's going pretty good so far. I mean, the support and, whether it's from sponsors, teams, fans up until this point has been phenomenal. Obviously, if anybody has looked at the radar, it does not look promising as far as the next 6 days of rain. But my deal will go on no matter what, rain or shine. We have, I have commercial tents that are brought in every year, in case it rains. So, my event's about 80% covered. So, whether, we have a chance of rain or if it is raining on Saturday, my event is going to go on starting at 11 o'clock. We're doing barbecue this year, food and all that stuff, and then our auction is at 1, and of course Brad Doty is coming in this weekend to be the Grand Marshal for Williams Grove Speedway, and then he is going to be at our event as well. So we got a lot of exciting things going on, but I just want to stress to the fans that are going to be camping there or going to be coming to the races that despite what the weather is going on Saturday, our deal is still a go no matter what. So we hope that everybody can come out and still support that.
I'm shifting gears on you real quick here, but when we've heard about Susquehanna and some management changes, ownership changes, and then heard you were announced to take over, which we think is an incredible choice, but how did all of that come about? Because for many people in the sport, they see you as a crew member on a race team, and you're making a major jump in roles. Talk to us about how that worked out and how you feel about making that big shift.
Well, it was kind of, obviously when Scott took ownership of the track, several weeks ago, about a month ago, I kind of got a phone call from him a couple days after that, and he kind of threw some stuff at me of if this would be something that I would be interested in doing. And it's something that I've always wanted to do, is be involved with a racetrack. I love promoting. I love dealing with race teams and fans. I think that shows with the national benefit. And then obviously, it was a perfect situation. I grew up in Central PA. Susquehanna is only about 25 minutes from Mechanicsburg. So it was kind of a perfect situation where I can, get involved with a racetrack and be home with my friends and family. And, essentially it's kind of a homecoming. I grew up going to Williams Grove and Lincoln and Port and Susquehanna, and being able to, take over as general manager at Susquehanna, I'm very fortunate to get that opportunity. And then on top of that, all these promoters in Central PA, I looked up to all these guys growing up. They've been around for 20, 30 years, and, growing up as a kid and having a relationship with them, and then being out here on the road and going to these racetracks, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm excited to work with these guys. They've been my heroes for years, and I can't thank everyone enough for this opportunity. I'm super excited.
Kolton, I can't imagine, and I know I talk the biggest problem Central Pennsylvania has now, and I know there's a lot of racing in Central Pennsylvania, but a lot of times we focus on 410 sprint cars, okay? The biggest problem Central Pennsylvania has is this thing called the calendar, okay? Because it's like, oh my gosh, you want to talk about races. I mean, these guys can race every night of the week. I know you probably don't have schedules in place or anything like that, but in broad picture, what in general do you know or do you have planned? What's your hope? What's your thoughts as far as 410 racing goes? Or are we even too far out to plan on that?
Well, currently, we are working on schedule stuff with racetracks and putting together divisions right now. Obviously, one of the big headlines in Central PA is Williams Grove not doing their Saturday night divisions anymore. All that is coming to Susquehanna, so that we will have that on Saturday night. Susquehanna does about 6 or 8 410 shows the last couple of years. We're going to continue that in 2016. A couple other divisions that are going to be down there. Obviously, ARDC midgets and 305s, and a couple other series. So, not a whole lot of stuff's going to change division-wise a whole lot. We want to support every division. We want everybody to feel that Susquehanna is their home. We want teams to come out and support us. And one thing I've been stressing to people is this is going to be the new Susquehanna Speedway. Scott, has a lot of good ideas, and his vision for this track and racing is phenomenal. And, we got a lot of exciting stuff to come. And, I just want fans and race teams to realize and understand that there is change coming. There's going to be some stuff going on with the facility. There's going to be exciting race formats that probably have not been done in Central PA with some divisions. So, there's a lot of exciting things that are going to be coming the next couple months. So I want everybody to kind of really, tune in, whether it's on social media or getting, a racing paper, because there's a lot of cool things coming to Susquehanna in 2016.
Lots of cool things indeed. And again, want to go back to the National Open. Unfortunately, Kolton, when we look at this, your benefit is for the Steve King Foundation, the World of Outlaw Drivers Benevolent Fund, and the York County Racing Fan Club. Why do folks, and through your benefit, but we see it every year, the importance of these organizations. Can you just, as your final thought here, just state how important it is to support these organizations through your benefit or however?
Well, I think one thing you got to look at is, there's been a lot of drivers that have been hurt over this year, all over the country. And, obviously there was one that got major headlines was, Kevin Swindell. And, these three charities, the World Outlaw Benevolent Fund, Steve King, and York County Racing Club, these charities, pay out to these drivers, and some of them are, weekly payouts. Some of them are, large amount sums. And, if there's no money going into these charities, nothing's being paid out. And as well as we know, not every driver in the country does this for a living. Some of these people have normal 9-to-5 jobs. And, when those guys get hurt, it's tough, especially when you have a family and kid and you have no money coming in. And, that's why these charities were designed to, to help medical expenses and help people, supplement incomes, if they can't work a normal job. And, I can tell you since I started the National Open Benefit, the amounts that we pay out to these charities, some of them, it's their largest donation of the year. And, I think that speaks volume of how much people support the National Open Benefit. And, whether it's sponsors, drivers, teams, fans, whoever, everything is an idea in my head, and I try to incorporate as much as I can. But this event is truly a testament of all the support that we have. And I couldn't do it without everyone, the volunteers and everything. So, as much as I get credit for putting this on and raising the money, just as much credit or not more goes to everybody that supports it.
Absolutely. The website is nationalopenbenefit.com, nationalopenbenefit.com. Rain or shine, the event is Saturday starting at 11 o'clock. I'll be where the drivers sign in at Williams Grove. Kolton, thank you for your time.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to seeing you guys down the road, and hopefully we can get you guys to come up to Susquehanna next year and check out whether it's a 410 race or something that we have going on Saturday night. I hope you guys come out and see what we're all about.
Looking forward to it. Would certainly do that, that's for sure. That's Kolton Gouse joining us here on the program. Stay with us. Our Kick It Driver of the Week and a whole lot more coming up next.
This is Winged Nation on MRN.com. We'll be back talking more dirt with Steve and Kendra right after this.
Hi, I'm NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon. Did you know that 43 children are diagnosed with cancer each and every day? That more children die from cancer than any other disease. Athletes of all ages are dedicating their stats to change these stats, and you can too. Visit JeffGordonChildren'sFoundation.org to become a Kick It champion. No matter what your sport, you can use your points, laps, or goals to change the odds for kids with cancer. Make your stats really count. Become a Kick It champion.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts is ending soon. You won't want to miss the store-wide savings and double point deals on over 150 items. And if you're not already a member, sign up today during O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's MRN's Winged Nation. Here's Steve and Kendra.
Wow, so many great guests, so many great conversations. Greg Wilson, Donnie Krietz Jr., Kolton Gouse, and so many great things with our Kick It Driver of the Week. Kendra, what do you have on this?
This is one of my favorite stories we've gotten.
Folks.
So there is a school called Cumberland Valley High School in Pennsylvania. It just happens to be the school Lucas Wolf attended.
Okay.
And like, you know how, Steve, when you were in school, there was like Future Farmers of America,
Right.
Future Teachers of America. Well, they have started the CV Racing Club.
What?
And it's for kids in the high school that like racing.
Oh
they all
my
get together.
God.
I don't know who Mr. Toman is, but I'm guessing he's a teacher
Why
that's
didn't
helping
they have
this.
when I was there?
I know.
Every speech, everything. Here we go.
So
again.
here it is. This is like a group for race fans to get together in high school and talk about racing.
Wow.
I would have been the president of this club. But anyway, so they started this club. Their first meeting, Lucas Wolf goes to it.
Holy cow.
How cool is that? So these kids are getting together to talk about racing in central Pennsylvania, and a guy who just won a big race at Williamsgrove comes and hangs out with them.
That is
So
fantastic.
Kick It Driver of the Week, Lucas Wolf. This is the thing, people. Like, these are what creates new fans.
Yes.
Stuff like this. And
Right
getting
there.
the support of a driver is just going to make this club grow, and we're going to get more new fans of high school kids bringing their buddies to the races.
Absolutely. So cool.
So
Congratulations to Lucas Wolf on that. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour off until the 16th and 17th of October when they go to Devil's Bowl. Regional action at Aztec Speedway and Timberline Speedway. Regional action in Minnesota or New Mexico and in Texas this weekend. That one in Aztec Speedway in New Mexico is the Joe Herrera Memorial for the ASCS Southwest Tour. Hey, I want to give a shout out to our buddy Matt, the Beer Hill Hugger. Through the Beer Hill Gang, Kendra, they have put together and raised $1,500 for the Rookie of the Race of the National Open. Okay? This might be the third place
really
finisher
cool.
in the C-Main, but $1,500 for the Rookie of the Race. So kudos to our buddy, Big Matt, the Beer Hill Hugger. National Open, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. DirtVision.com has all the coverage. Again, that's DirtVision.com. National Open Kick It game on Friday afternoon. Jason Bly putting that together. And the National Open Benefit National Sprint League, the Fearless 410 finale, Friday and Saturday night at I-80 Speedway in Greenwood, Nebraska. $7,000 to win. And Kendra, the IRA finale, Plymouth Dirt Track,
crazy.
IRA point battle, 26 races deep. Bill Rose and Ben Schmidt tied
After 26 races. That's nuts.
Oh, my gosh. Scotty Neitzel only 22 points back. Weekly racing at Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe. This week, the Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products. We're going to talk to Bill Rose. We haven't talked to Bill Rose in a long time. We're going to talk about that battle. And Wing Nation on MAV TV presented by Hercules Tires. Batten down the hatches, Gary Selzy.
This is fun. He's fun.
Gary Selzy. So that's Saturday morning at 9:30 and 12:30. All the latest motorsports and racing news and sprint car news at MRN.com. That's www.mrn.com. Thanks to Greg Wilson, to Don Krietz Jr., and to Kolton Gouse for joining us on the program. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here today.
You've been listening to the nation's premier winged sprint car radio program, Winged Nation. Tune in next Tuesday at noon for more talk from the dirt tracks. Winged Nation is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.